So this week I was going to talk a bit about sexiness, and the concept of like being sexy and sexiness as a state of mind. Hi everyone. Oh, it's so exciting. There's people here. Um, so I guess in terms of sexiness, I think um, I hear people talk about how they're not sexy or like they want to be sexy, but I don't even entirely know what that means for folks. Um, and at what point does somebody like decide that they are sexy, or um, like I'm a sexy person? Because first of all, sexiness is completely subjective. What we find sexy is totally individual, and that's why there are so many different kinks and fantasies, because what some people find sexy, others don't. But it's important not to yuck anyone's yum. Um, and that doesn't just mean like sexual acts, but just like who people find sexy, what attributes, what physical as well as personality attributes people find sexy. It's totally subjective. So how we can have like one type of sexy or decide that you are sexy um, doesn't entirely make sense within that context. But somehow we decide, um, you know, I am or I am not sexy, and that's the whole point. Is that um, sexiness is a frame of mind, or a state of mind, and so you get to decide at any point that you are sexy. Um, I mean, think about people who you think are sexy. I don't know how many times I can say sexy in this live. Um, and like even the sexiest human on earth is not sexy all the time, right? Like it's pretty hard to look sexy while taking a poo or ugly crying. I'm sure there are like some humans who can make that look good, and some people who even find those acts sexy. But so no one is sexy all the time. So therefore, sexiness is just like a moment in time. Like you are sexy sometimes, you aren't others. But again, you get to decide what is sexy and what isn't. I don't know if I'm getting too meta. Um, so I think I might have to put up my hair. It's real hot. So I mean, if you think about like what is sexy, what do you find sexy? If anyone's on here, I'd be happy to hear what you find sexy. Oh, that's better. It's so hot. Well, I ask this question a lot in when I'm teaching, well, like sexual workshops as well as burlesque, um, and often what people come up with are personality traits or attributes. Like I often hear confidence is one of the biggest ones, kindness, humor, natural, sure. Um, but a lot of people, it doesn't even come up about physical attributes. It comes up about who people are and how they carry themselves and conduct themselves in the world. Um, but yeah, for so many of us, we have a concept that we can't be sexy because we don't meet a particular standard, particularly the way that we look. Um, so it's always interesting to me that we can extend the definition of what is sexy to other people based on like how they conduct themselves. Yeah, totally. Strength and self confidence is sexy, for sure. Um, but yeah, we can extend that to other people. But then when we think about whether we are sexy or not, we're like, well, you know, I look this way, or my body moves this way, or less often do I hear people say, like, I'm sexy because I'm funny, or because I have a really kind heart. Um, Even though we can say that about other people, which I just think is super interesting. Um, so, and I suggest you like make a list of what you find sexy as well. It's interesting to note, um, and it's possible that other people find those things sexy in you. But I mean, think about when you do something, like when you have felt sexy. Like think about a time that you have felt sexy. Um, it is tough to articulate why you're sexy. Not you specifically, but why one is sexy. Um, and we'll get to that in a second. But think about a time that you felt sexy, and like what were you doing? What were you what were you wearing? What were you thinking? Like what made you sexy in that moment? An example would be um, wearing, for some people, wearing like lingerie. Um, and we've been told or trained that lingerie is sexy. Um, and so we can put on lingerie and feel sexy, but nothing has really changed about us. We've just put on something that we view as sexy. But what happened is you had a thought. You had a thought like, "Damn, I look good," or like, I'm sexy. Like I'm sexy," and then you felt sexy. Um, so the point that I'm trying to make is that that is available to you at any time. Like those thoughts are available to you at any time. You can choose to have the thought that like I am sexy, and you could create feelings of sexiness from that, if you believe it, of course. I mean, it's kind of like confidence. Well, it's very similar to confidence, but I mean, people who are confident aren't necessarily people who have all of the things that you think would make you confident. And it is certainly easier for some folks to feel confident or to feel sexy based on um, their identity and what cards they've been given and how society tells them their identity is valued or not. But everyone is capable of feeling confident or feeling sexy. And like people who are confident, it's not because they necessarily have the thing, it's because that they believe in themselves. They believe they have something to offer. Um, you know, you can meet people who have all of the things, or like are the what you think are the most sexiest attributes, and they don't feel sexy, and they don't think they're sexy, or they don't feel confident, because it's all up here, um, which is exciting that we get to make that choice about whether we feel sexy or we are sexy. I mean, part of it is redefining for ourselves what sexy is and allowing other definitions of what is sexy than what is the like mainstream generic trope of sexiness that we've all been trained to think. And one of those ways is thinking about what you find sexy, and you might very well find that a lot of what you find sexy is not mainstream. Or oh, it's static. Sorry, I don't know if that's an internet connection thing. Is that any better? Like a vacuum cleaner. Interesting. I don't know what that is unless it's picking up noise from my computer, which I'm doing a live on. Facebook on. I don't know where to put you, folks. Put you over here. Nope. Put you over here. That's better? Okay, great. You can look at my cats. Oh, I don't know where to look. Let's look in between. What was I saying? Oh yeah, that when you come up with a list of what you think is sexy, you might have a very different definition that perhaps can extend to you. Another thing to think about is like what thoughts do sexy people have? Like what thoughts do confident people have? If I look at somebody and think, damn, they're so confident, like what are they thinking to be able to do the things that they do and move about in the world the way that they are? And those thoughts are also available to you. And you can practice those thoughts. I mean, sometimes you have to start with a more neutral thought than like, I'm the fucking shit. You might just be like, I have value. Or I'm sexy. I am capable of being sexy. Maybe that's a more neutral thought. Yeah, I think you can have two situations where, so you've heard me talk a lot about thoughts, your beliefs, creating your feelings, your emotions, which create your actions, which create your outcomes. So, I mean, you can have two separate examples of two people who, are in a bar, let's say, and one person thinks like I'm sexy, or I have something to offer, or I'm kind of interesting, or they're feeling themselves that night, and then they feel confident, they feel worthy, and then they can go up to a stranger and have a conversation, and then maybe whatever, dance, fuck, meet the person of their life, whatever it is. And you can have another person who can go into the same situation and think, I'm not good enough. I don't have anything to offer. He's probably not interested in me because I look like this, or like she probably only likes tall guys. So there's very heteronormative. He probably only likes tall guys. Whatever it might be, and then you feel maybe shame because you're not what you think you should be. You just feel generally pretty down on yourself and unworthy, and then you just get drunk by yourself in the corner, and then maybe go home and feel sick. Those are two situations, same thing. It's just like people can have entirely different outcomes because of what they're choosing to think. And so all I'm saying in this long-winded thing that was only going to be a few minutes is that feeling sexy is available to you anytime. And how you feel sexy comes from what you think sexy is, how you broaden your terms of sexiness, how you understand that sexiness is moments in time, and that we're not like always in states of being sexy, and that therefore you also embody sexiness, and that is that thought's available to you. You're fucking sexy if you want to be. So that's my thought for today. I think I had a bunch of other things to say, but it's at 15 minutes. Fucking happens fast. Did anyone have any comments? Thanks for coming and for listening. Did you have any comments about sexiness? What is sexy? Feeling sexy? Thinking you're sexy? There's no one in Facebook. It's unusual. Oh, there's one person. One person, where are you? Whoever you are, thanks for being here. Oh, I've got some work to do. Yeah, you're not alone. I mean, it's, I was going to talk about validation from other people too. Like, if we are only basing our confidence or our sexiness on what people tell us, then we get into this cycle of needing people to validate us in order to feel sexy. Which just means like you're depending on other people in order to make decisions about yourself, which is, can be problematic. So you get to decide what you think is sexy and if you feel sexy, and whether other people think that or not is really none of your business. Easier said than done, for sure, but that's the basis of the thoughts. And that you get, so I would suggest doing things that make you feel sexy outside of the company of other people, that you get to feel sexy on your own without needing it to be validated from somebody else. Those are, it's fun to do sexy things in the company of other people as well. But like, I don't know if you've ever had this experience where like you're like feeling yourself, you feel super fine, and then you meet up with somebody in whatever context and they don't give you the validation that you were hoping for, and then all of a sudden you feel like shit. And it's like, I was feeling great. I felt sexy. I know I'm sexy. And then all of a sudden I have this interaction and I'm letting that determine that I'm not sexy anymore. There's nothing changed. I still look the same. I'm still like wearing the same dress. But like, that totally changed my mind because I let that person decide to determine what I like, to affect what I think is sexy or how I feel sexy. No, I was perfectly fine on my own. So I would definitely like suggest doing things that make you feel sexy on your own, that you don't need other people to validate, that it's just about feeling sexy. I wonder if this video could be like a drinking game. Like every time I say sexy, you have to take a drink. Anyway, it is never too late. 50 years old and always a struggle. Yeah, it's never too late. And good. I'm happy that you're going to take my advice. Let me know how it goes, because you get to decide whether you're sexy or not. Or a puff. Yeah, sure, whatever. People would get so wasted. There was a lot of sexy talk thrown around here, and not in the conventional sense, in the literal. All right, sexy humans. I am sweaty. Sometimes I feel sexy when I'm sweaty. Today I don't. But it's just a state of mind. I can decide I feel sexy when I'm sweating. Maybe I'll feel sexy when I go outside and get this pillow off my back. All right. Go be sexy. And I'll talk to you next week. Let me know how it goes. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.